So more South African miners are protesting, just like we said would happen. You go and raise the pay 22% on that other group of miners that had a strike, and just like that, we are obviously, I mean, everywhere you freaking went as far as the real news goes, the kind of sites I visit, etc., everybody's saying, well, duh, now everybody's gonna want a big raise. So naturally, we've got another strike going on at a different mine. I think it's a platinum mine in South Africa, and they want a raise. Hey, that other group got a raise, we deserve a raise. And naturally, the police were called in and they were clashing with protesters, citing an illegal gathering of the protesters. Illegal gathering. I mean, really? How do you have an illegal gathering? A bunch of people want to decide to get together and talk about something and show their disgust about something. What the hell is that? Ah, it's an illegal gathering. And you know what's interesting about that too? You know, oh, that'll never happen in America. Our police forces, so they're not going to turn on Americans. This is crazy. They took an oath and they're going to follow the oath. Trust me. Really? Say, what color are the police in South Africa that are protesting, or that are fighting against the people and killed those other 40 protesters a few weeks ago? Well, they're black, of somewhere near, you know, in Africa descent. Maybe they're right out of South Africa, I don't know, but nonetheless, naturally, they're black. That's what you normally find in Africa. Black people. And the protesters were also black people from the same area that the police are from. You know, the same community. And if those police could shoot those protesters, as well as currently, you know, tell them they're having an illegal protest and, you know, firing rubber bullets and tear gas and telling them, you know, again, it was an illegal protest, you don't think that the same white police in America against white people in America, as well as black police against, you know, in other words, Americans against Americans, Americans who are police officers against other Americans who are not, who are called the peasants or citizens or taxpayer or consumer. Take your pick. So, you know it will happen, plain and simple. Because when they realize the economy is terrible, and since they are government workers, they will continue to get paid as long as you follow orders. And if your major or your captain or your lieutenant tells you to arrest these protesters now, yes sir, or yes ma'am, gladly sir, gladly ma'am, they won't even question it. They won't even question it. Just like what happened, as I said yesterday, that young man, or I don't know what his age is, probably older than me, the guy from Miami who films protests and, you know, Occupy Wall Street, does that kind of stuff, just as a, you know, member of the media would. The major female arrested him. They charged him. Criminal charges, arrested him, put him in jail. He had his day in court yesterday, and the captain of the police force decided, I know you've been asking for this standard operating manual we have, SOP, standard operating procedures, but I'm not going to give it to you. Court order, subpoena, I don't care. Not going to give it to you. Who's going to arrest the police? Who's going to arrest the major? Oh, probably one of the corporals. Probably one of the deputies. Probably one of the sergeants. Probably one of the lieutenants. Hey, go arrest the boss. Dream about it. Not going to happen. So, in other delightful news, China published their 2011 non-performing loans, if you will, or people falling behind on paying loans, delinquent loans, and they are finding out that 333% of loans in 2011 were delinquent. A rise. 333%. Oh, I thought China was the powerhouse. Do you remember the nonsense news? Not all that long ago, several months ago for sure. You know, oh, Europe's hopefully getting their act together, and all these news stories are running. China said to step in and help bail out Europe, and I'm looking around at all my sources, of course. Did China say that? Matter of fact, here's a regular story right from China themselves. Didn't say anything about that. I was even talking to my boss on the phone at one point. He's like, you see that news today? I guess China's going to step in and try to help Europe. I said, boss, basically, this is the third time, I think, that they ran the same story, and then the markets jumped up a little bit. Oh, all right, China to the rescue. And then later on, China is standing there saying, what? Who said what? What did we say? No, we didn't. We didn't say that. Oh, never mind. Market's back down again. I said this will be the third or fourth time that it happens. And sure enough, it was the third or fourth time in a row that allegedly China was to the rescue to help Europe, and never happened.